Hello everyone, welcome back to Grant's Gaming Realm, and today we're going to do a platinum review of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is one of 2024's most anticipated games, and I was really looking forward to this game coming out. You know, I'm a big Square Enix guy, huge Kingdom Hearts fan. I've slowly become a big Final Fantasy guy over the last few years. I really love Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played the PS1 version a long time ago, did enjoy that, but I was just shocked how much I loved Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just the combat was just fantastic, and like the story, and it was just a weird mesh. It kind of reminded me of like, put Kingdom Hearts back in the Final Fantasy and see what happens. I don't know. It just like, I just got that vibe from it, at least in terms of the combat. And of course the story, Final Fantasy VII, if you know it, it's a great story. It was a perfect amalgamation, a perfect way to bring the series back. When Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was coming around the corner, I was super excited because of how much I liked Final Fantasy VII Remake. Pretty much it ended up just how I expected, from story and even to gameplay. First, I'll go into the story. I'm going to do spoilers just because the game's been out for a few months, and there's a few things I want to say about it. So, story, at least beat from beat, pretty much happens like it did. Like, what Rebirth covered was pretty much how it unfolded in the PS1 version of Final Fantasy VII. And that's to be expected. To be honest, I did not think at the end of the day they were going to change too much. I know the Force Ghosts and all that weird jazz is in the remake trilogy and whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, it's still just going to be Final Fantasy VII, Like, it's still going to have the beats. I think the only little changes they did, Gungaga was a side thing in the original FF7. Now it's mandatory. But yeah, it pretty much was beat to beat the story of Final Fantasy VII. The ghosts didn't change too much. The weapons, they showed more weapons or whatever. They're not the typical weapons that we knew from the PS1 version, but they're kind of like, I guess, normal weapons. I don't know how to describe them, but with Tifa getting swallowed by the weapon and that scene and all this other stuff, and then of course the Zack stuff was probably the big departure, and the split dimensions. But at the end of the day, when you hit credits on the game, it pretty much is exactly how that portion of FF7 PS1 went, except Zack and multi-dimensional stuff. I really enjoyed the story. I was kind of going into it open mind, like I think most people will, but I really liked, just getting more time with the gang, getting more time with Cloud, Tifa, Barret, Red. Cave Sith was cool to see and stuff like that, Aerith, I really liked all the characters and just how they mesh with each other, and this crew of characters has a special flair to it, a special bond, and I think anyone who's played Final Fantasy VII just knows what I'm talking about when I say that. I was really excited to be with these characters again, see these characters. I'm really looking forward to what happens in Part 3. There's portions in this. I really like the temple. The temple is really cool. And a lot of people online have discovered hidden secrets to different things and hidden messages about Genova and, the future of the series and all that kind of stuff. I really dig the story. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Really looking forward to the next one. It had its Final Fantasy charm to it. Its typical wackiness. Speaking of what they did change is the Gi. I thought the Gi stuff was actually really cool. Give some more backstory behind the Black Materia and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I really dig the story. I think the story's fantastic. Honestly, the thing that I actually liked the most about the story was just seeing Cloud slowly lose his mind. I think that stuff was super cool, and I think it's highlighted way more in the remake trilogy than it was in original FF7. To be fair, it's been a good amount of years since I played original FF7, but I just don't remember that being so potent about Cloud's character. I knew it was a thing, but it's in the remake trilogy, it's really hiding how much control Sephiroth has over him and how twisted and messed up, he can be, and I'm really curious to see how that goes forward, in the third game. So I'm really curious to see how they handle Cloud and just his... I still think at the end of the day they're going to follow the typical beats of the FF7 story, but I'm still just curious how it's told in the remake trilogy, how it's told in this new format. I'm really looking forward to the next part of the trilogy, the next part of the story. I would probably get the story an 8 out of 10. Gameplay, I love the gameplay of this game. My God. Remake's gameplay was super awesome. You know, really great. Like I said, it kind of brought Kingdom Hearts back into Final Fantasy a little bit, and I just really enjoyed it. Well, like I said, this game really did feel like I'm playing Kingdom Hearts, but in Final Fantasy. I mean, I know Kingdom Hearts is Final Fantasy / Disney, but you get what I'm saying. It's just that, like, kind of that speed, that flow, it got brought back into Final Fantasy, and I really enjoyed it. I dig it a lot. The synergy abilities, awesome. I didn't really use the synergy skills all too much. That's just me personally. I know some people, like, are pretty crazy with it, and I think it's awesome for those people who want to know the tech and all the ins and outs of the combat system. I think that's awesome. Being able to have so much more party members now, having all these synergy abilities, having all these different combinations, it's great. I love it. The open worldness of the game now, I think, is really dope. I think it's, you know, a great evolution of Remake's combat system. You know, the evolution of the game. Just, we kind of knew this was going to happen, but now actually seeing it in practice is like, whoa, this is awesome, you know? Just being able to explore the grasslands, Junon, Corel, you know, all these different places. It's cool. I really, and also I just love the fact that we actually got different environments in the game and not just stuck in Midgard. I mean, I know that was the point of Remake, but, like, just to finally, you know, kind of see fresh air or just, you know, a fresh scenery is just really breathtaking and also just really nice. The graphics in this game are absolutely beautiful, especially for a game that's still running on Unreal Engine 4. You know, this game looks beautiful, and it's awesome to play this game at 60 FPS on PS5. Just seeing just all the details and intricacies. I think it's great. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, the combat was just, like I said, if you liked Remake's combat, you're going to like this one. It's literally just the same combat, but just with a little extra oomph to it. A little extra pizzazz. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I really enjoyed Rebirth's combat. I just really enjoyed the gameplay. Even the side stuff that they introduced, the side missions were great. Queen's Blood, at first, I was a huge hater of Queen's Blood, I'm not going to lie. But as I kept playing it, I'm like, okay, this is growing on me. This is, you know, I'm starting to get this now. So just all the side content was really cool. Even though I loved how there was side content, in terms of the platinum, yeah, there's just way too much. That's one thing I'm going to get into right now, is playing this game just for the game, just trying to get from beginning to end, is a great experience. It's a fantastic experience. I'd probably give that experience alone like a 9 out of 10. When it comes to actually platinuming the game, actually completing this game, holy shit. Yeah, this game's a pain in the ass to platinum, to say the least. I did have fun, but I'm not gonna lie, once we got to the end, I was so happy I didn't have to play this game anymore. It's just, you know, in terms of actually completing this game, there's just too much shit. Like, I'm, at least for me personally, don't get me wrong, I want to be able to do a lot of things in a game I really like and I'm really enjoying. But there's a certain point where it's like, okay, we need to just cut it right here. We need to just, you know, stop while we're ahead. Because there's certain mini games and certain side stuff that's just like, was this really necessary? Do we really have to put this in this game? I think we could have just cut this out, you know? Especially with Square Enix's, oh, we didn't meet expectations. Oh, I wonder why, because you probably dropped thousands of dollars putting in pointless mini games that everybody hated. Just saying. Yeah, that's probably the only thing I kind of didn't like about this game. You know, it's just that, like, weirdly enough, this is like, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth felt like Mario Party, but in Final Fantasy. There's just so many mini games. So many. And I mean, don't get me wrong, Final Fantasy is like that. Even the Kingdom Hearts games are like that. They have a lot of mini games, but my God, there is just so many mini games in this damn game. And guess what? You gotta get a certain score on every single one of these things. And it sucks. It was so antagonizing, just so draining and stressful. My God. I think everybody can agree with the Chocobo glides, or the Chocobo, not the racing. Well, some of the races were pretty hard, but the Chocobo gliding courses. F those things to hell. There is no way they properly tested those. No way. I can't tell you how many times. There was so many times I clearly went through a ring and it just didn't register. It's like, what? And especially Training Course 3. What the absolute fuck were they thinking with that course? Like, it takes such precision, tight controlled timing. I don't know how to describe it. Like, it just takes such dedication and precision. I had to do this ridiculous strat where you have to turn around and then, go back up to gain air, and it's just like, oh my god. Even the guides, you look up guides to do this course, and the comments is flooded with, what the hell is this course? This is a bunch of bullshit. Yada, 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 yada. And it's just uber nonsense. There's just some of these minigames that just really weren't necessary. I mean, some of the Costa del Sol minigames, they were okay, but, like, I could have done without, to be honest. I mean, I know that's part of the original game, but can we please, in the third game, just chill out on the minigames? Please, for the love of God. Like, we have the gold saucer for a reason. That's our minigame hub. Make that the minigame hub. Make that where you go to play the minigames. Don't put minigames anywhere else. I'm good. The minigames is not even the worst part. Whoever thought at Square Enix that the hard mode VR missions were doable without a guide are clinically insane. There is no way someone could go into those blind without having some kind of build or some kind of thing to do them. There's just no way. Like, I was surprisingly able to complete the first 3 brutals just with my normal play style, just kind of going in blind. But after that, yeah, fat chance. You will get slaughtered so easily, it's not even funny. I legit don't know how you could do this without looking up something on YouTube. I do wonder, when they made these, they're like, you know what, people are going to look up stuff on YouTube anyways. Let's make this hard as living hell. Can't tell you how stressful just those alone made me. Took me weeks. My God. Even with the right build, sometimes it's not even enough. It's just, Yeah, VR missions broke me. 100%, they broke me. Hard mode is not even close to how hard those VR missions were. Don't get me wrong, some of the hard mode bosses, those were tough. Some of them were pretty tough. Rufus was a pain in the ass. I mean, even in a normal playthrough, your first playthrough, Rufus is a giant pain in the ass. The dragon was a pain in the ass. Hard mode dragon sucked. That sucked a lot. Surprisingly, Sephiroth wasn't too bad. Probably the only thing in terms of, like, hard mode bosses that I got stuck on were bosses where it made you be a certain character. Dime. Yeah, Dime kind of sucked. Dime was definitely a pain in the ass. There was just certain bosses where you had to play certain characters that I had an issue on. Most of them took me under 10 times to beat. Actually, a lot of them took me under 5. So yeah, hard mode wasn't nearly as hard as the actual VR missions and some of those high scores in the minigames. So, what is that minigame called? Crap. It's the Rock'em Sock'em minigame. I'm blanking on off the top of my head. But fuck that Rock'em Sock'em punchy minigame. Oh my God. Screw that thing. That thing sucked. At the end of the day, bare minimum, you're spending like bare minimum 130 hours to platinum this game. I mean, I highly doubt people can do it under 130. But, you know, there's some sickos out there. But bare minimum, for sure, you're spending over 120 hours to platinum this game. I know to some people that sounds amazing, but to me personally, like, if we're over 100 hours, it's just like, come on. Like, can we wrap this up? Can I go home? You know, can we play another game? Like, this is just me personally. Going over 100 hours to platinum a game is kind of insane. But that's just me. I know certain RPGs or certain genres, like, are better suited for that. Just better games suited for that. But just me personally, sub 100 would be nice. You know? So, to overall wrap this up, like, story of the game, story's great. Gameplay was fantastic. Rebuilds on remake, adds new features, has great side content, some side content that sucks balls, but, you know, overall has pretty solid to great side content. Just completing this game just blows. Just plain and simple. It's not that it's not fun, but it just becomes a giant pain in the ass at a certain point. I legit almost did not platinum this game. That's how close I came. I'm like, I don't know if this is worth it anymore. Like, I think I just want to play a different game. So, yeah, this game's going to test your patience when it comes to platinuming, for sure. So if I have to give this a final score, just beating the game normally, just, going from start to finish story-wise, I'd probably give this game actually a 9. This game was pretty amazing, pretty awesome. Gameplay was great. The actual ride of the main story was awesome. Fantastic. Even the side content actually added to the story, the overall story of the universe and stuff like that. I mean, I know most games do that, but, like, the side content actually adds some hints and some big clues down the line that could help us see where part 3 is going to go. Gameplay was just as great. Builds on remake, adds new stuff. I really hope Synergy comes back. I'm looking forward to, I think we're definitely going to play as Sid and Vincent in part 3. So super looking forward to that. But yeah, I just can't wait to see where the story goes, where the gameplay goes. I just can't wait to see the end. So yeah, in terms of completing this game, I'd probably give it either a 6 or a 7, to be honest. If it wasn't for the fact that the main story was fantastic, I'd probably make this lower, but just, yeah, this game just pushes your patience. It really pushes your buttons when it comes to actually completing this game and getting the Platinum Trophy. I can't tell you how great it feels when you actually platinum this game. I purposely saved Sephiroth on hard mode as the last thing I needed to do a platinum, and God, just beat it on hard, the music comes in, you're just like, fuck yes. So, yeah. This game is great, but platinum it at your risk. I'm telling you now, it's going to take you for a ride. So, yeah. Thank you all for tuning in to Grant's Gaming Realm. We will see you next time for, I think we're going to do Tunic next. Yeah, I'm going to do a platinum review of Tunic. So, yeah. See you all in the next video. Have a good one.